Mr. Elliot, could you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your name for the court reporter?
Okay, my name is Michael Elliott. It's Michael Elliott.
And Mr. Elliott, my name is Megan Long, and I'm a prosecutor with the Harris County District Attorney's Office. And I want to start by saying I'm sorry for the loss of your daughter. And there is something that we are required to do, which is identify the individual who was killed. And so, Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may, please.
I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 75. This is a photo taken from an autopsy with ML2146607. I'm showing you State's Exhibit 75. If you could just take a look at State's Exhibit 75 and tell me if this is your daughter, Megan Elliott.
Yeah, that's Megan.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Elliott,
Yeah,
Megan was your daughter, is that right?
yes.
Prior to today, have you spoken to either one of the prosecutors on this case?
Prior to today, no.
On September 29th of 2021, were you ever asked for consent to allow the police to search your house?
I want to say, I don't believe we were asked specifically for consent, but we had an attorney who was representing us, who we had actually on the phone and was on the way to the house and arrived several minutes later, who told the police for us that they weren't allowed to search the house.
When this incident occurred, how do you feel like the police treated you that day?
I thought, I'm trying to come up with a polite way to say it. I did not feel like it was that the job they did at the house, what I could see of it was well done. I did not think it was well done.
Okay, and what makes you say it was not well done?
Objection would call for speculation.
I mean, that is his opinion, it's overruled.
Well, I guess, maybe approach.
Mr. Elliott, I guess it's fair to say at the scene that you were frustrated with the police.
Yes,
So we know from the 911 call, and we know from the body cam that you went in Megan's room at some point. Is that right?
yes.
Did you know how badly she was injured?
When I initially went to go move into the room, I went with an idea to help Benjamin, who was rendering aid to Megan with the 911 caller on the phone. And as I moved in the room, I could see Megan's face. She was gray and just, I thought that she was gone. And I knew it was horrible, and I needed to go get my wife Kathy, because she's much better at, she's got, I don't know if she still has, but she had Red Cross certifications and was very experienced with life-saving stuff, and so I needed to get her in there. And I went in to get her in our bedroom on the other side of the house. I'm sorry, am I still answering your question, or?
You're good.
Okay.
Will you do me a favor,
Yes,
just
sir.
slow down? I apologize, just slow down for us, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'll ask you another question.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, you haven't seen the body-worn camera video, but you would agree with me that your wife was a more calmer person at the time than you were.
Yes, I was extremely frustrated with the police. I didn't know what was going on, and honestly, I was probably angry, and not as reasonable as she was. Yes.
At some point, you and your wife ended up in that little office that's right next to the front door.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, where we had the computers. Yes.
And you're trying to get information about your daughter.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell us anything about. They wouldn't even tell us whether Megan was still alive. They wouldn't tell us anything. The ambulance EMS people weren't there. And then they were talking about. We could hear them talking on the radio about where the EMS was, and I don't know, they wouldn't tell us anything that was going on. And then they had EMS people who came and I guess looked at Megan and then went immediately outside of the house and were talking in front of the house. And in the computer room, we could hear what the EMS people were saying. And so we moved close. I'm sorry?
Objection to narrative.
Oh,
You're fine.
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
You're
So, if I may, you're gonna hear some objections every once in a while.
Okay.
It's just about a question. I'll handle those and just listen to our instructions.
Okay.
And the defense,
So, after you were in the office, next to the front door,
Okay.
I think it's clear the police wanted you to move out of that room, is that right?
Yes, they moved us into the garage, if I recall correctly, and then finally out of the house entirely.
And I believe it's your wife who said, can we go to the car? Because you couldn't be in the garage,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. Well, and this is after. I wish I could remember more clearly. This was after at some point we were able to get dressed, and the police also. I remember this while I was obviously upset. I did think that was odd that they let us get dressed in our bedrooms with the door closed without anyone there, and I don't know. But yeah, eventually we were outside in the car waiting in the driveway, and still didn't know anything about whether Megan was still alive or not.
Oh my gosh, how much does your heart break for this father? And think about this. So he's here in the courtroom in the trial that is accusing his son of his daughter's murder. And this isn't the only time we're going to see him. There's going to be more testimony coming from Dad in the defense case. That's right. So he's testifying as a witness for them. What did you think of what he shared? Let me bring in our legal analyst guest, attorney Joe Tamburino, to weigh in. Joe, your thoughts on Dad?
It's a horrible situation. Your heart goes out to him. There's no doubt about it because, literally he's losing two kids. I mean, obviously his daughter is dead, but his son is facing life in prison, and it looks like the state has a pretty strong case.